it has not been straightforward. In one sense, it has been easy because you can look at an awful lot of metrics and say that was comfortable, but that doesn't pass the eye test because Ipswich made it a little bit nervous for Arsenal here, even though they didn't create a lot of chances, and David Wright didn't have a save to make. It's one of those curiosities. Arsenal not convincing, but 3 points nonetheless.
Look, we take the 3 points and we forget this game has ever happened, right? We don't need to remember this game. It's not been a good match. It's not been particularly entertaining. Arsenal were way, way below their best. I'd say if we had a 6-gear car, we never really got out of second. Yet Ipswich have not had a shot on target, you know, and barely got into our danger zone. So look, hopefully it didn't use up too much energy, but we're going to have to play better in what's going to be a really busy January to keep winning matches. Ultimately, 1 goal was enough. Gabriel should have scored. It was, you know, by his standards, an absolute open goal miss. But it is what it is. 1-0, we take it, we move on, and we forget it ever happened.
Domination for the most part in the first half, but workmanlike in the end. Ipswich were better, but not quite good enough to give Arsenal a significant scare. Nerves, yes, but the points have been won by Arsenal. Kai Havertz does score again, his 7th Premier League goal of the campaign, the difference in the end between the two sides. Ipswich will bloody the nose of a top half team again later this season, I'm sure, having taken points off Spurs, but Arsenal were not going to succumb to the Tractor Boys, who will head back to Suffolk with their pride in stake, certainly, for a performance that's been okay, but not good enough to get the points from Arsenal on this final match of the Boxing Day programme. Let's hand you back to Dan and to Femi. Always plenty of discussion points. Not the 3 or 4 that we wanted, but Kai Havertz does score again. Arsenal do get the points. Full time here as we hand you back to all of the crew. It's finished Arsenal 1, Ipswich 0.
Well, summarised well by Dan and Adrian. It ends 1-0 to the Arsenal at the Emirates Stadium. And as they were saying as well, not quite the 3-0, the 3-1, the 4-0 that we were hoping for. But at the end of it, when all the dust settles, 3 points to the Arsenal.
It is, and it is the nil. We have to celebrate a good defensive performance, but I think on top of that, I mean, Gabriel puts that corner away, and it's a 2-0 comprehensive. We manage the game well, etc. I'm looking at the positives right now. One of those positives are Boxing Day games aren't easy. Chelsea dropped points, City dropped points, Liverpool looked quite shaky in their first half, and here we didn't look our best, but we got the 3 points. So that is to be celebrated. On the other side of the coin, we did struggle to break them down with, you know, the absence of Saka just last week. It does make you look at this team and work out, where are these goals going to come from? Do you know what I'm saying? But listen, we have to celebrate 3 points. Not every single game is going to be the 3-4-0 perfect win, but at the same time, we do need to see some improvement, because if we do that against Brighton away, we might have a little bit of a tough night. Do you know what I'm saying?
Yeah, and obviously in the heat of the moment, we're coming here, we're hoping for a big swashbuckling performance, and we didn't quite get that. But over the course of the season, as long as you're ticking off those wins, that's where we'll start to pick points up and create the bigger picture.
All I'm going to say is attack wins you games, defense wins you titles. So if we can do this, how many games remaining? 20 games left? If we can do this for 20 games, we won the league, basically. So I'm not too worried about that performance. We were comfortable for the majority of the game. There were a few mistakes, you know, here and there, and them coming on goal, but they never really had a proper chance to really break us down, and I'm happy with that.
Yeah, I mean, they had no shots on target. There wasn't any moments where I was massively threatened by their attack. But at the same time, they are in the relegation zone. You do that against a better team, and you will get punished. But like we've been saying, you have to celebrate a 3 points, you know, and it's not always the pretty wins that come every week. So that is what I'm looking at. I thought some other bright sparks. Again, I thought Timber, the whole back line, I thought did well. Timber, I thought Skelly getting a 90 is a positive look as well. Saliba and Gabriel, you know, impressive as ever. If Gabriel scores that goal from the corner where he's about an inch away, and from his standards a really bad miss, we're suddenly talking in a very different way. But at the same time, I thought Odegaard was a little bit off the money today. I thought he struggled. I think I don't know if he's come back from that injury. I don't think that's an Odegaard at full fitness. I thought Rice was really good, but again, I don't think that's a Rice at full fitness. So we need to weather this kind of a storm without losing games, and that's what they did today. So you have to celebrate that.
And also, we've seen the level of the Premier League in full display here. This is a team that is supposedly battling relegation at the bottom end of the table, but Kieran McKenna's drilled them to a point where there were spells, especially towards the end, where we were hanging on for 3 points there, so we shouldn't take that for granted.
It can be a bit cliche, but there are no easy Premier League matches. You know, sometimes you might find your form and have your day, but on anyone's day, they can take points off anyone. So you have to celebrate a win. Yes, I wanted it to be more convincing. I wanted it to be a kind of take the pedal off at 60 minutes. But at the end of the day, I'm glad that we're going home with 3 points.
Absolutely. And looking towards our next few fixtures, it doesn't really get easier in the Premier League. We're going away to we're going away to Brentford. Then we're going away to Brighton, and then we meet Man United here in the Cup.
Yes.
What are we hoping for from those fixtures? So first, the Premier League games. What are we hoping for points-wise? What would be a good return for us?
Win, obviously, but you know what it is, it's
really, don't we?
Yeah, it's about getting 6 points from those 2 games. But even if we do drop points, it's about, as you said, the clean sheets. If we come away from those 2 teams with clean sheets in both games, then I think we got the best defense for me in the league, and statistics wise as well, we got the best defense. So come away from those 2 games with a clean sheet and hopefully 3 points in each game, then Man United will wipe them easily, man. That's easy, man.
Yeah, looking forward to that. Femi, you have some thoughts on that?
We need to play better than we did today. Yeah. That's what I would say. But I'm still looking at it with excitement. I do think reinforcements in January, I wouldn't be mad if that were to happen. Though I'm realistic, I think it's unlikely. Yeah. But at the same time, I wish I saw more from Martinelli, but we have to be patient. New position, relatively new anyway in this system, etc. And like we have to focus on it's 3 points. They're going to go into that dressing room feeling good about it because it's 3 points. So you have to look at it like that. I think also you just have to the fixture congestion. It has to be taken into account. They were only playing a couple days ago. They'll be playing in a couple days' time. So bear with, when you look at it like that in a kind of long-sighted way, there's a lot to be satisfied with.
And right now we're saying room for improvement, but I mean towards February we could end up, if the cup semi-finals versus Newcastle go well, we could end up in the Carabao Cup final as well. So come in about a month's time, we could see ourselves looking pretty rosy. What are we expecting from that Carabao Cup semi-final against Newcastle?
You know what? I feel like we need to go for it. I think we need to put out a very strong squad because I think this team needs silverware. I feel like winning trophies is habitual. Once you get one under your belt, it becomes a habit. You want players in that team who are winners. We haven't got many that have won in red. None have run in red and white. Tierney won the FA Cup. Saka was an unused substitute. So, you want to get Saliba, Gabriel, Raya. You want Timber. You want all of these players to finish a campaign and win something. I feel like the Carabao Cup's important. I think it's important for our momentum. I would like to win a Carabao Cup and then go and scrap for the league right to the last game. Do you know what I'm saying? So that's how I look at it. And games like today are how you win things. It wasn't the greatest performance, but we came away with 3 points. That has to be celebrated.
Well, listen, that concludes today's show live from N5 in the My Arsenal Rewards box. Arsenal come away with a classic 1-0 win. If not convincing, certainly the 3 points we were looking for. Don't forget, you can come back to arsenal.com next time for live commentary as Brentford take on Arsenal away from home. So, until then, we'll see you soon. From myself and Femi, it's always, come on you Gunners. Come on.